Hello and welcome back to Better Than Yesterday. Today, I'm your co-host Daniel, and Michael is also here today in tune for a video which is going to be about good investments for long-term and medium-term within South Africa and Namibia. So I'd just like to ask Michael, before we jump into the video, how have you been, man?
Been so good, man. Sure, it's been way too long since we've done one of these videos where it's both of us on a call. We've been having to do a few individual ones for a while, but I think this is also going back to our roots. Man, it's been, even apart from
Exactly.
that, it's been a long time since we've done a video on investments. But actually, if you go back, if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at our first videos, that's all the stuff we were talking about, man. But yeah, I think this will be very valuable because we're talking about safe investments here, man. That'll be good for the medium to
Yeah.
long term, like you said, things that is going to earn you interest. Very useful for young people, and it's the kind of stuff that I'm looking to invest in at the moment. But apart from that, man,
Mm.
I've been so well. Sure, just been on the university grind, which has been good.
Yeah.
Been trying to hit the gym a lot recently, so I would say I've been in a positive, an upward trend for sure, which has been good. Just taking everything day by day and trying to get the most out of every day. How about you, man?
I'm glad. I'm doing all right, man. I must say I'm a bit more laid back this year. I've been kind of just pushing through and also taking it day by day, but more
Lovely.
on like a stagnant basis. I just feel like I'm in one place and yeah, I'm just trying to get up that positivity and like just enthusiasm for life again. Like just like be excited about things, look forward and not just go through life just because I have to. But
I get
otherwise,
you, man.
man, yeah, I've been focused on the studies, just trying to get that part done and yeah, going to the next step of life, man.
Lovely, man. Yeah, I think it's a transitional year for us, man. So we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah,
But I think it's been a good year for better than yesterday so far, man. We've been keeping the content going.
it has.
So excited to get into today's topic, man.
Yeah. So let's get into the banking side of things first. I know we've got like a couple of different sites where we can do investments
Yeah,
today, but yeah, so let's get into I think FNB. Tell us a bit about that, Michael.
100%, man. Yeah, so in doing research for this video, and obviously, we both got experience in investing in some of these things that we
Yeah.
are speaking about. But yeah, FNB is something that works out nicely because for young South
Mm.
Africans and Namibians who may be watching this, this is an option that is available to both of them. In South Africa,
Yeah.
FNB offers these options, but it's the same in Namibia. So, yeah, man, there's this. They have a couple of different options, and the one that I actually have is an FNB savings account, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the account that I use for all my banking actually. And what's cool about the FNB savings account is it earns you up to 6.8% maximum interest per year. So, and
Okay.
what's cool is that you can just start with any amount. So I think that's what's quite valuable about these basic savings account is that
Yeah.
you are able to put in any amount. For us, it's like $200 a month or whatever it is. But it's something, and it's better than
Mm.
that money sitting in a place where it's not earning interest. So that's what's cool about the FNB savings accounts. That's the one that I actually have in place at the moment. And
That's good.
yeah, a lot of these other ones you'll see, you have to have like a minimum investment of maybe 5,000
Mm.
or something like that. But and also in investing, it's important to learn and to know for anyone that's watching this video is that obviously the more money you invest and the higher your interest rates are going to
Okay.
be. But if you're putting in like 100 to $200, it's not going to be earning crazy amounts of interest. So when it says something like up to 6.8% interest, it means that that's only if you're having on the higher end of the amounts that you're investing, maybe in the tens of thousands. But if you're putting in $100, they're going to give you a small amount because they can't use that money and invest it in as many different ways. So yeah, man, that 6.8% is quite a optimistic range. However, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good safe investment place to put your money. And I know they also have
Yeah.
this thing called the 32-day flexi account, man. And I know you have some experience
Okay.
investing in that, man. So would you mind
Yeah.
telling us all about that one?
Telling us about it. Okay, so yeah, I've also got down here the fixed day, the 32-day interest plus account. So it's
Lovely.
one in the same thing
I see, I see.
where you have to put down a minimum of 100 for the interest plus one. And I think for
Lovely.
yours it was 1,000 or 5,000 day. But
5,000,
then
yeah,
what
minimum.
this account Yeah, so what this account does is exactly as it says, like it's a 32-day notice account. So it
Mm,
means that you aren't allowed to withdraw money for 32 days unless you notify them, and then you have to wait the 32 days before you can withdraw money.
sure.
And otherwise you'll be given a penalty. And then the first month you get this is like nominal amount. So the first month it's a 2.8% interest, and then going on to the second month it increases to a 3.2%, and the third month it goes to 3.5%. But since it's nominal, it changes in terms of how the market looks. So it could go up
Mm,
maybe like 2.9%, or it could go down to like a 2.5%. But this is all depending on the market. And what's cool about this account is it gives you that sort of discipline that I can't withdraw money from here for 32 days. And if I do, I get penalized for it. So it helps you to keep your money in that account so that whenever there's like a need or you want to be impulsive, you can't really get hold of that money real quickly. So that's the 32-day interest account, like summarized in layman's
sure.
terms.
Another very good
Then
option,
you
man.
get yeah, it's a very good option which I've used before. And then you also get a call account, which is an account that also subtracts like $100, or depending on how much you set it, like a minimum startup is 100 though. And then each month it takes 100 rand or Namibian dollars from your account. And it also gives you an interest of between 2 to 3% on a yearly basis. And the thing is, why I would say investing in this is good because instead of your money just lying in your bank, getting bank charges, like you've said earlier, you
Sure.
get a bit of interest, and it helps your money to stay ahead or to stay on par with inflation.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, and
Yeah.
what's nice is that these are easy to start accounts here, man. So you can go and
Mm.
register an account with FNB today, or if you already have one, you can just apply to get that account up and going. And yeah, it's that
Yeah.
easy. So you just on over to the FNB website, very accessible. I think you'd have to be 18,
Hmm.
or if not, then you can just get your parents' approval here, which
Yeah.
allows you to make those kind of accounts. So yeah, man, very,
Hmm.
very, very useful. So moving on from FNB, I think that that's sort of the main ones that they have, man. What's another good
Yeah.
option
So
for young people?
for F&B, okay, I've got like one or two more for
I
F&B.
see, I see.
It's the fixed flexi deposit. So this is one where you put money away between 3 to 12 months,
Okay,
and it's also $100 minimum deposit, but you only start earning interest once you've got 1,000 Namibian dollars or rands within the account, and this gives you approximately 3 to 5% depending on the amount of money like which you've got in the account. Like you
mm,
said, the bigger the sum of money you have, the bigger interest it
you get
gets. And then in lastly, I want to mention the savings pocket for FNB,
okay.
which is also a free account which you add to your bank account. And this is very good. It's like whenever you go to the store, you can set it on different amounts. For example, 2 Namibian dollars or 5 or 10,
That's quite
depending on how
interesting.
much you want subtracted from your account. So each time you swipe or you buy something, it takes that certain amount from your account and it puts it in the savings pocket, which is cool because you also earn
I
an
like that.
interest of like 3% as well, like 3.2 or 3. You guys can read more into it, but it's just a cool thing where whenever you're spending money, there's some money that's being saved
Mm.
automatically.
Yeah, it's cool
Yeah,
that these banks actually offer these kind of options, but I think a lot of people don't
exactly.
actually realize that these things are available, man.
Realize. Yeah. So it's good to just sometimes do your research and see what your bank has to offer. And I know that you can go and get a savings account at Nedbank as well,
Yeah,
ABSA in South
it's
Africa,
very true.
Bank Windhoek. Yeah, it
Standard
just
Bank,
depends
yeah, they
on
are offered
which.
as well.
Yeah,
We chose to focus
exactly.
on FNB here because it's sort of it's available
Mm,
in South Africa and Namibia, which is cool. But like I say, those banks have very
yeah,
similar options and they're all competitive with each other, so there won't be huge differences
yeah,
in the interest rates.
yeah. So it just depends which bank you are personally using and what your preference is. And then I would like to get into Old Mutual. So you can also, like, funny enough, as a young person, invest in Old Mutual. You can either get a unit trust or you can get a max investment amount. So
Hmm.
with the unit trust, you have to start up with a lump sum of 300 Namibian dollars or rands, and then each month they withdraw 100 rand or Namibian dollars from your amount, I mean from your account. And the cool thing about this account is that the money is freely available whenever you need it, but the best option is to treat it as a medium to long-term investment. So this is like from 1 year to 5 years,
Yeah,
depending on how long you want to save. But this is when you're going to get the maximum interest because it compounds. So whenever you get your monthly or yearly interest, it's added to the account, and then it just keeps growing with the money that you have. So that's really the cool thing about it, where you make money on top of the money that you've already earned. Yeah,
that's awesome.
so
Very cool option.
that's the thing about Old Mutual and the unit trust. And then the maximum investment, this is where you have to pay amount of 500 per month.
I see, man. Lovely. Yeah. So
Yeah.
to hop into the next one that I have, this is kind of more for South Africans. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a bank that is currently taking charge here in South Africa. There's a lot of people that are really that are switching over to this bank, Discovery Bank. Obviously, they started off as an insurance
All
company,
right.
but they're doing a whole lot of different things at the moment, and they've
Mm.
gone into banking, and they're actually doing a lot of really cool things there because you can link your Discovery driving insurance and your bank, and then there's also fitness things. So, for example,
Yeah.
they link. They have this whole program where if you are staying fit and being active every single day,
Mm-hmm.
you are able to earn points, and then you can actually spend that as money on your accounts, which is very interesting. So
Sure.
they're doing a lot of cool things, I must say. And it's something that I'm being convinced the more I do more research. So,
Mm.
but yeah, a couple of savings options that they offer, which is very cool. So they have a similar thing
Mm-hmm.
to the 32-day one that you just mentioned, which earns you about
Okay.
7.35% interest per month. And that is the same thing. So you just have to give them notice, then they will only receive the money withdrawn from the account in 32 days. And that earns you a very good 7.35%. That's what they said on an
Mm.
annual rate. And then they have a 60-day and a 90-day one, which earns between 6.5% and 6.7%, which is interesting because it's actually less than the 32-day, but then you have even more
Sure.
days of notice. So it's an interesting way that they did that. But I think the 32
Mm-hmm.
day one is probably the best one to go for then for Discovery as well. You're earning a very good
Yeah.
interest rate there. They have also a basic savings account where you get around up to 6.25%. So not quite as high as FNB's one. Um, but also a good option, if you just want to, be able to withdraw your money at any time. And one thing that
Mm.
I found quite interesting, man, that they also had, so this is more for like a lump sum type of occasion. So you need a minimum of 10,000 rand. So this is more of a specific situation. However, what's very
Mm.
cool is that they have this option where you can put in a lump sum of just over 10,000 rand, or it can be anything plus and above to 10,000 rand, and that'll earn you anywhere from 7.48%, and then you get the interest up front. So that's when, let's say you put
Sure.
in 10,000 rand and you say, I'm gonna lend you this money. It's for 6 months. Then they'll give you the amount of
Mm-hmm.
interest, which is 7.48%, but they'll give you that money up front. So it's an interesting way to get that money like right now. And then they are able to use that
Sure.
money for the next 6 months. And then if you
All
want to do it
right.
monthly, then they give you 9.5% interest. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a better way to do it. Then they'll pay you the 9.5% interest on a monthly rate. And then you can also do this option where you earn a much higher rate, which is 12.1%, but then you only get the interest at the maturity. So that means you'll only get paid
Okay.
the full amount of interest, which is 12.1%, but you'll only get that
Mm-hmm.
after the 6 months that you've loaned them the money. So interesting
Sure.
options that they have, if you
Mm.
have maybe a trust fund that your parents were putting up for you, in your years in high school or something like that. Or maybe you won money from a competition, or you saved up a big lump sum. This is the kind of thing you want to look into. So definitely check out Discovery's options there. And yeah,
Yeah.
man, I have another very cool app that I want to talk about, which is called Franc, which I can hop into just now, Ben. But how about you tell us about your next point there?
Yeah, so next I would want to get into Altcoin Trader. So this is a brokerage for trading cryptocurrencies. But there you can even save ZAR. I saw the other day, which is South African rands,
Sure.
and you get like a 5.25%, depending. It's also like differs because it's a nominal rate. But this is also a good place to store your money if you don't want it to be in a bank. You can then put it in this app where you can save up money while you research cryptocurrency or you're already into crypto, and then you can just take that saved up money and then get into crypto as well, depending on if you want to get into it or not. Otherwise, you can just have that SAR account and save money there. Then after a while, deposit it back into your bank account. So why I find this really cool is it's like an independent site, and Altcoin Trader is also free to use. So there's not going to be any additional like monthly charges. The only charges that there will be is when you transfer the money from your bank account to Altcoin Trader and then back from Altcoin Trader to your bank account, which is also just like a minimum amount of money
I
that you
see.
transfer back.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do have those little like 1 or 2 rand things that they charge you
Yeah.
every time you make a transaction. That's very cool, man.
Mm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I know Luno, I don't think they have a savings account, but they've got a
Hmm.
this crypto holding account, but also similar. But I think that's cool that Altcoin Trader allows you. So you're not actually even investing in crypto. It's just like a proper
In
nominal
crypto,
interest
yeah.
rate that you're getting. Yeah.
Yeah. And it also compounds, which is a good thing.
Lovely.
And why we like these type of investments and we're speaking about it today is because
Mm,
it's so much safer. It's not as volatile as cryptocurrency and
yeah.
stock markets. And obviously, because we aren't earning fixed salaries, we might like earn a bit of money here and there, like with wagering, like you are,
Yeah.
but it's never like a fixed term. So you don't really want to risk your money to that point where you can
Yeah.
lose everything at once. So rather like save it up in these little accounts until you can, like until you're earning a fixed salary where you can take bigger and more risks. But rather
Yeah.
than waiting to invest when you're older, you can invest now when you're younger and just make it a habit, which we've
Yeah, man.
spoken about before.
100%. Yeah, I think you can see sort of the maturation that we've gone through a little bit just because
Mm.
when we first started this channel, for example, we were talking very much about crypto and the stock markets
Yeah.
as more of an option. And definitely, I mean, yeah, not saying that those are things that you shouldn't be investing in. I think we obviously we
Mm.
spend some time investing in those things. And I know for myself, I just got a little bit tired of seeing my money go down all the time. So what's
Yeah.
like you say, I've been looking more at these kind of investments recently because
Mm.
sometimes you just want to put your money away and know that it's gonna grow rather than decrease. I put lots of money into crypto that has just ended up halving in value. So sometimes you don't want to take that
Yeah.
kind of risk. Yeah, so that's why we
Yeah.
doing all
True.
these things, like you say, man. And in that process, I found this really cool app called Franc. So it's a locally made app. It actually won like a competition in South Africa a while back. Like
Sure.
the developers who made the app. Yeah,
Mm.
it's been quite big news in the country, in just the fact that it's this really cool thing that was developed here in South Africa, and it's become registered as a financial service provider. And yeah, just it allows you to
Sure.
invest in two simple things. It's kind of investment made very simple. It's not very complex, but that's what's cool about it, is it just allows you to invest in these two things. And the first one being the
Mm.
Alan Gray Money Market Fund, which is a very safe
Sure.
investment. And I've actually recently just started putting money into there, and it earns you about in since its inception, which was many many years ago, it is earned about 7.5% interest. But on a
Sure.
yearly rate, you should be getting about 5% interest every year, which just beats the level of
All right.
inflation. I've seen stats for the Allen Gray Money Market Fund, and every year it's going to beat
Mm-hmm.
inflation. And over the last 3 years, it's earned about like 6.5% interest, and that's also again, so it's keeps your money ahead of inflation and also grows it, more than what the inflation rate is, which is really cool. So it's a nice,
Sure.
safe way to just put your money, know that it's growing, and it allows you to
Mm.
invest in there. And you don't have to have a specific amount. You can start off with $50, $100, whatever you want to do. And the other
Yeah.
investment option that they have is the Satrix 40, which is an ETF, an exchange trade fund, which basically is a fund that is compiled of the stock market value of the top 40 companies in South
In South
Africa. So
Africa.
top 40 highest earning and grossing and biggest companies, most successful companies.
Yeah.
They're all sort of pooled into this exchange trade fund that allows you to invest in. Yeah, so it almost summarizes how the South African market is doing, in a way. And this is also a very good investment, also a good long-term one. It's a little bit more volatile than these other like fixed interest accounts, because sometimes your money can go down there, whereas in the Allen Gray it's never going to go down, it's just a slow increase. Whereas like in that, obviously, if the country's doing very poorly, then your money can go down, but it also has the potential to go a little bit higher ups. So for example, in the last year, the Satrix 40 has earned you around 5.75%. So it's actually not much different from investing in the Allen Gray fund. However, in the last 6 months, it's gone up 13%. So if you put in money 6 months ago,
Sure.
then your money would have gone up 13%. So it just depends, it's a bit more volatile. Depends on what time you invest. And in 3 years, it's actually gone up 61%. So that's
Sure. That's a
so much
lot.
higher than everything we've just spoken about. So that's kind of thing with investing
Yeah.
in, stocks and stuff like that is it's more volatile. Sometimes it can go down, but it also has the potential to earn you much higher percentages. So yeah, that's a cool thing about Franc, is it allows you to invest in those two things, depending on if you're wanting to take risks or you're wanting to be safe. At the moment, I'm in that stage of just keeping my money safe. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
I think these are such good options that people our age really should be looking into.
Yeah, definitely. Like today we just gave a brief review
100%.
and brief information about these accounts, but yeah, we'd recommend that you just do more deep research and
Yeah.
just find out what you want and what's going to work for you, as we aren't like financial professionals and we aren't going to be able to give you the best
Yeah.
information or like total accurate information about what you should do specifically, but we can just make you aware of what is available and what's out there. And for Namibians, there's also a really cool investment platform that you can look into, which is called Simonis Storms. Yeah, so do yourself a favor and just do some more research into this. I think even if you aren't going to be investing now, it's just going to be beneficial information for the future. But it was really good being able to speak about this and just, yeah, going back to our roots to the investment side of things, man.
100%.
Thanks for
I've
the
enjoyed
good
it, man.
conversation, Michael.
I've enjoyed it a lot, man. Yeah. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll chuck some of the links for all of these things that we've been talking about in the description here, man, and that'll just allow everyone to actually find these things that we've been talking about. So yeah, definitely, think about which one you think will work for you, and yeah, start putting your money away. It's definitely a good thing to start doing. But yeah, man, enjoyed the video. Hope you guys did as well. Hope you find some value from it, and let us know,
Yeah,
what sort of things you plan to invest in and what you have been investing in recently. But yeah, that's it from
hmm
us. We're gonna be back hopefully soon, man. Next time you then
awesome, man.
both will be recording some more content, and yeah, man,
Let's do
excited for
it.
that next time.
All right, man.
Lovely
And
stuff.
so, yeah, much love from us. Better than yesterday.